Hello, kind hearts. Tonight's story is for anyone who's ever felt too lazy to start, too tired to try, or always tempted to say, I'll do it tomorrow. It's about the snow mountain and the baby birds. It's a quiet journey, not about being the strongest or finishing fast, but about learning how to begin, even when you don't feel ready. This tale gently shares the small, powerful ways we can overcome the weight of waiting. How tiny actions, simple routines, and soft beginnings can lead us to the dreams we thought were too far away. And maybe as you listen, you'll feel something shift too. A little spark of courage just waiting to rise. If this story brings you warmth or makes your breath slow down just a little, you're gently invited to help this little nest of stories grow, with a soft like, a quiet share, and by subscribing so you never miss the next story in the forest. And if you'd like to share something with us, where in the world are you listening from? What time is it for you right now? And what's one small thing you've been feeling a little too lazy to start? Now, rest your hands. Let your shoulders drop. Let the world slow down just for a while. Take a soft breath in and an even softer breath out. You've arrived. Let's begin our story with a cozy nest, 2 sleepy birds, and a mountain that doesn't ask you to rush, only to begin.
The moon floated gently above the forest, glowing like a silver lantern in the sky. All around, the trees whispered lullabies through the breeze. Crickets sang soft songs, and tiny stars twinkled like baby fireflies above the treetops. High, high up, near the very top of the tallest tree, nestled in a bed of twigs, moss, and soft feathers, was a cozy little nest. And in that nest, were 2 baby birds. Kai, the older brother, with his soft chestnut feathers and a slightly crooked tuft on his head. He liked to pretend he was a great explorer, though he never really left the nest. And Lena, his little sister, with big sparkling eyes and tiny white spots on her wings. She was gentle, cheerful, and loved to giggle at everything, even the wind. They were as snug as can be. Safe. Warm. And full of dreams they hadn't yet dreamed. Their parents, Papa Ray and Mama Sarah, were loving, wise birds with kind eyes and strong wings. Every morning, they flew far and wide to bring back the yummiest food for their babies. A juicy worm here, a plump berry there, even the occasional golden seed. All Kai and Lena had to do, was chirp. Just one little chirp. Cheep, and breakfast arrived. Peep, and lunch was served. They never needed to flap a wing. Never needed to look for food. Never needed to worry about anything. Kai would puff out his feathers, lie back like a prince, and say, "Now this is the life." Lena would twirl in circles, balancing on one leg, and say, "Look, Kai. I'm dancing like the wind." Then fall over giggling into the feather pile. Their days were filled with naps, stories, silly games, and snack time. Lots and lots of snack time. One morning, Kai invented a game called Who Can Chirp the Laziest. He won, of course, by snoring in the middle of his own turn. Lena once declared herself queen of doing nothing, and wore a crown made of grass and beetle wings. Kai bowed dramatically and asked, "Your royal snooziness, may I continue my nap?" They were a pair of happy, lazy, fluffy little birds. Even when Papa Ray gently reminded them, "One day, you'll need to learn to fly," Kai would wave a wing and say, "Maybe tomorrow." Lena would hum a tune and say, "I like it here." Mama Sarah smiled, but her eyes held a quiet knowing. Then one day, everything changed. It was a soft, golden morning. The sun peeked gently over the forest, warming the leaves and painting the sky in gentle pinks and oranges. The breeze smelled like pine and petals. Papa Ray and Mama Sarah perched on the edge of the nest, their wings folded close. Kai rolled over and yawned. Breakfast. Lena blinked sleepily. Are we having worms or berries today? But there was no food in their beaks. Only silence. Mama Sarah looked at her babies with warmth and love. She brushed Kai's feathers and kissed Lena's tiny head. My little ones, she whispered, we love you more than the sky and stars. Papa Ray continued, but now, it's time for you to grow. Kai sat up. Grow. Lena tilted her head. Grow like, taller. No, sweet feathers, said Mama. Grow wiser. Grow braver. Learn to live on your own. Kai's eyes widened. Wait, you're leaving. Mama nodded. We've left you a small pile of food. Enough to last a few days. Papa Ray added softly, after that, it will be up to you. Lena's lower beak wobbled. But we don't know how. You will, Papa said gently. In time. You have everything you need inside you. Kai stood up suddenly. But we're not ready. Mama Sarah pulled him close. That's how every little bird feels at first. Lena buried her face into Mama's feathers. I'll miss your songs. Papa Ray closed his eyes for a moment, then looked at them both. This is not goodbye. It's just the beginning. And then, with wings outstretched, and hearts full of hope, Mama Sarah and Papa Ray took off. Higher and higher, until they disappeared into the sky. The nest was quiet again. But it didn't feel cozy anymore. It felt big. And empty. Kai paced back and forth. Okay, we still have food. No problem. We'll just stay here. Forever. Lena sniffled. Do you think they'll come back soon? Kai puffed out his chest. They have to. I mean, who leaves their babies alone? Lena pointed to the small pile of food in the corner of the nest. At least they didn't leave us with nothing. Kai grinned. That's right. Let's eat. And eat they did. They devoured a plump blueberry, a crunchy grasshopper, and even a golden seed, Papa's favorite. After lunch, they sprawled out in the sun, bellies full, feathers sticky, eyes droopy. See? Kai said, licking berry juice off his wing. We're totally fine. Lena giggled. We're the kings of the nest. No, said Kai. You're the queen of naps. And I'm the prince of doing nothing. They laughed until they hiccuped. Then dozed off under the sun, dreaming of fluffy clouds and floating muffins. The next morning, Kai woke up with a crumb stuck to his beak. He stretched and yawned. Time for breakfast, oh. Wait. He blinked. The food pile looked smaller. Just a few berries. Maybe one worm. And something that looked suspiciously like a pebble. Lena, he said. We might need to start thinking about flying soon. Lena peeked from under a leaf. Flying? That sounds hard. Kai flopped down again. Yeah. Let's not. So, they spent the next few days doing what they did best. Nothing. They made up songs about worm jelly. They played Guess That Cloud. Kai even started writing a book called The Very Lazy Bird Who Did Absolutely Everything by Doing Nothing. By the 5th day, the food pile had become a food speck. Lena picked up the last seed and split it in two. Half for you, she said softly. Half for me. They ate in silence. Even Kai didn't joke this time. That night, the stars seemed further away. The wind a little colder. Lena curled into Kai's side and whispered, Do you think we can really do it? Kai didn't answer at first. He was watching the sky, where a strong owl soared quietly in the moonlight. I don't know, he said. But maybe tomorrow. We'll try. Just a little. Lena nodded sleepily. Okay, maybe tomorrow. And with that, they closed their eyes. Still in the nest. Still waiting. Still hoping. Still, not quite ready. But something inside them had changed. A small spark of curiosity. A soft flutter of courage. It wasn't action, not yet. But it was the beginning. And in the quiet space between comfort and the unknown, a new chapter was waiting to begin. Morning sun spilled softly over the treetops. Golden beams warmed the quiet nest where two little birds still lay tangled in feathers, fluff, and dreams. Kai stretched first. His beak opened wide with a sleepy yawn, and one feather floated gently off his head like a drifting cloud. Lena curled under her wing and mumbled, 5 more chirps. The tiny pile of food left by Mama Sarah and Papa Ray was nearly gone. But the siblings didn't seem to notice. Kai finally sat up, blinked at the warm sun, and said with a grin, well, still not hungry enough to fly. Lena popped one eye open. Do we really have to fly someday? Kai looked around. Not today. We've still got some breakfast. He reached toward the last bits of dried fruit and nibbled a crumb. Lena followed, chewing quietly. The nest rocked gently in the breeze, and a butterfly floated past. Kai squinted at it. Wish food flew into our mouths like that. Lena giggled. Butterberry delivery. Kai chuckled, lay back, and crossed his wings behind his head. Now that's my kind of meal. The day passed with lazy giggles and silly games. Kai invented one called Cloud Count, but stopped after 5 because counting was too much work. Lena built a mini throne of twigs and declared herself Queen of Cuddles, insisting Kai bow before he could eat a crumb. He bowed dramatically, tripped over a feather, and fell backward into their leaf pillow pile. They laughed until their bellies ached. Later that afternoon, as the sky began to turn soft with gold and pink, a shadow passed over the nest. It was quiet, strong, graceful. And then... thump. A firm but gentle landing. Uncle Oren. The wise old owl stood tall on the edge of a nearby branch, his speckled feathers catching the fading light like silver stars. Kai blinked. Oh no. Serious face alert. Lena sat up straight and tried to smooth her fluff. Uncle Oren looked at them, eyes calm and kind. Still in the nest, I see. Kai shrugged. Nest life's not so bad. Lena smiled nervously. We still have some food left. Uncle Oren didn't scold. He didn't raise his voice. He simply looked out over the trees and said, you know, the food pile won't last forever. Kai raised a feather. But it hasn't run out yet. Uncle Oren blinked slowly. One day it will. And when that day comes, will you be ready to fly? Kai glanced at Lena. Lena looked at the crumbs left in the corner. But neither of them answered. Uncle Oren gave a soft sigh. Then, a twinkle lit his wise eyes. Perhaps a story will help, he said. Kai perked up. A story? Lena whispered, I love stories. Uncle Oren nodded. It's not just a story. It's a secret. One I only share with birds who might one day be brave. Now Kai sat up taller. Lena leaned forward, eyes round and sparkling. There's a place, Uncle Oren began, far beyond the tall trees, over the shimmering snow mountain. A place where the skies sing with soft wind, and the trees are heavy with golden nuts and glowing fruits. There, the ground is warm, the water is sweet, and food never runs out. Kai's beak dropped open. That's real. Lena whispered, it sounds like a dream. It's more than a dream, Oren said. But only the birds who dare to grow can find it. Kai scratched his wing. Over the snow mountain, huh? Lena blinked. Is it far? Uncle Oren nodded gently. Far. Cold. A little scary, even. But full of treasure, if you're willing to work for it. Kai fell quiet. Then said, well. That's nice. But we're fine here. Right, Lena? Lena hesitated. I mean, it does sound magical. Kai waved his wing. Yeah. But why flap all the way to some cold mountain when we've got a sunny nest and some crumbs left? Uncle Oren gave a small bow. I'll be nearby. Watching. When you're ready to begin, really begin, I'll help you. And with a sweep of his mighty wings, he vanished into the evening sky. Lena watched until he disappeared between the trees. Kai reached for the last berry. Let's just rest a little more, he said. We can think about the mountain later. Lena gave a tiny nod, still staring into the horizon. The next morning, they awoke to the sound of rustling leaves. A squirrel had popped his head into the nest and sniffed at the empty corner. Kai shooed him off with a squeak. Hey! Our crumbs! The squirrel chattered and scampered off, leaving only one crushed seed behind. Lena picked it up and stared. That's all we have left. Kai plopped down beside her. Still not starving. Yet. Lena's tummy rumbled quietly. Kai looked over and gave a weak smile. Okay, maybe just a tiny bit starving. But instead of flying, instead of building, instead of trying. They lay in the nest all day, watching clouds and telling stories. Stories of magical valleys. Of rivers made of honey. Of pillows made from puffball flowers. Of nut trees that dropped snacks straight into your mouth. Lena whispered, if I ever had my own tree, I'd decorate it with tiny bells. And every bell would ring when a nut was ready. Kai added, and mine would have a fruit faucet. With squishy mushroom seats. They giggled, snuggled, and drifted into another nap. That night, the wind blew colder. The stars peeked out, shy and far away. Lena curled under a leaf, her feathers trembling just a little. Kai, she whispered, what if the food does run out? He yawned. Then we ask that squirrel if he delivers. She gave a tiny laugh. Then frowned. I think. I want to try someday. Kai was quiet. Then murmured, yeah, maybe. But not tomorrow. Lena closed her eyes. Why not? Kai said softly, because resting feels easier. And Lena understood. Resting did feel easier. Trying felt hard. Scary. Cold. But somewhere deep inside. A tiny voice whispered. You can do hard things. She didn't say anything. Out loud. Just tucked the thought inside her heart, like a seed waiting to grow. And far above them, on a high branch hidden by shadows. Uncle Oren sat watching. His eyes glimmered like gold coins under moonlight. He said nothing. He simply waited. And watched. And hoped. That one day soon. Those two fluffy little birds would look past their nest. Past their fears. And choose the sky. The nest was quieter than usual. The wind no longer played with their feathers. The morning sun didn't seem quite as warm. Even the crickets, who chirped lullabies every evening, were gone now, hiding from the cold. Kai sat with his head tucked under one wing. Lena stared at the little corner where their food pile used to be. It was empty. Really, truly empty. No berries. No seeds. Not even a crumb. Kai gave the pile a gentle poke. Maybe there's something hiding underneath. Lena checked twice. Then sighed. I already looked, twice. Her tummy let out a tiny growl. Kai blinked. Maybe we're just having a hungry morning. But they both knew. The last berry had been eaten yesterday. And breakfast didn't come anymore when they chirped. Lena curled up and whispered, I miss Mama's voice. And Papa's shadow in the sky. Kai tried to smile. Me too. But we're okay. Just a little hungry. A moment passed. Another little growl echoed from his belly. Kai sat up. Okay. Maybe more than a little. Lena looked at him, her eyes round and full of wonder, and a little fear. What do we do now? Kai didn't answer. They sat in silence as the breeze blew through the trees, carrying with it a dry leaf and a memory of warmer days. Then came the soft flutter of wings. Uncle Oren landed gently on a nearby branch. He said nothing for a long time. Just looked at them. And waited. Kai finally said, there's no food left. Uncle Oren nodded slowly. I know. Lena's voice trembled. We don't know what to do. Uncle Oren didn't scold. He didn't say, I told you so. Instead, he looked out toward the distant clouds and said, there is a place. A land across the forest, over the snow mountain. Kai frowned. The treasure place? Uncle Oren's eyes glimmered. Yes. Where the trees grow food year-round. Where shelter is built by those who try. Where the air is crisp, but the reward is rich. Kai folded his wings. But, it's far. Lena added softly, and we've never gone that far. Uncle Oren spoke gently. All birds must choose their day. The day they leave the nest, and try. It's scary. But it's also the beginning. Then he flew off, just as quietly as he had come. Kai sat there a long time, watching the place where the owl had vanished. Then finally, he stood. We can't wait anymore. Lena blinked. You mean, now? He nodded. I think this is our day. Lena looked down at her tiny feet. What if I fall? Kai offered her his wing. Then I'll fall with you. She smiled, just a little. Let's fall together, then. And so, they left the nest. Not in one big leap. Not with a grand, soaring flight. But with a hop. Then a flutter. Then another. Wobble by wobble, leaf by leaf, they began their journey. The forest felt bigger than they remembered. The trees taller. The shadows longer. Every branch creaked when they landed. Every gust of wind made Lena squeak. At one point, Kai landed on a patch of moss and sank like a marshmallow. Lena giggled. You're stuck. Kai grumbled. I'm testing the ground. For safety. Lena laughed harder. You're testing it with your face. He smiled. It's part of the technique. Even in their fear, they found laughter. They crossed branches shaped like bridges. Tiptoed past ants as big as their heads. And hid behind leaves when a hawk flew overhead. They drank dew from flower petals. Ate 2 wrinkly berries they found near a log. It wasn't much, but it was something. Sometimes they got tired. Kai would flop down and say, maybe we're almost there. Lena would ask, how do you know? And Kai would grin, because my legs can't go any further. But somehow, they always found strength to keep going. The deeper into the forest they flew, the colder the air became. Frost kissed the leaves. Snowflakes danced from the sky, soft as feathers. Then, one afternoon, as the sky turned pale and the clouds cleared, they saw it. Snow Mountain. rising high above the trees. Glistening. Majestic. Glowing like a storybook dream. Lena gasped. It's beautiful. Kai whispered, it's real. They stared in awe. The snow shimmered like powdered sugar. Icicles sparkled like crystals. Even the wind seemed to sing as it swirled around the mountain top. It didn't feel scary. Not yet. It felt like magic. They climbed higher, finding resting spots on snowy branches. At one point, Kai slipped and rolled down a small snowy hill, landing in a fluffy pile with a surprised wah. Lena giggled. You look like a snowball with wings. He blinked, snow stuck to his face. I am a snowball with wings. They spent the afternoon playing in the snow. Rolling. Laughing. Chasing each other in circles. Kai built a tiny fort of sticks. Lena made a snowbird with sparkly eyes. They forgot about their hunger. They forgot about the treasure. They forgot about the work. Even when two older birds flew by and said, "Night's coming. You should build shelter, now." Kai waved. Thanks. We'll do it tomorrow. Lena hesitated. Yeah, tomorrow. As the sun dipped behind the mountain, the shadows grew longer. And the first icy gust howled through the trees. Kai and Lena shivered. The snow that once felt like magic now nipped at their feet. Lena curled up, tucking her beak under her wing. Kai pressed close beside her. No nest. No food. No roof. Just two baby birds. In the snow. Lena whispered, "Tomorrow, we'll work." Kai nodded, eyes closed tight. Tomorrow. But tomorrow would come with more lessons. Lessons that cold winds and empty bellies can teach. And deep inside, they both knew. Waiting too long had a cost. Still, in that moment, they had each other. And just enough hope to hold on to. As the night crept in. The night was long. The wind had sung sharp songs all around them. The snow had whispered cold secrets through their feathers. Kai and Lena had huddled so close, their little wings were nearly tangled. But they had made it. When morning finally arrived, the clouds pulled apart like soft curtains, and golden sunlight poured over the snowy mountain. The world sparkled. The icicles hanging from the branches caught the light and tossed it back like tiny stars. Even the snowflakes seemed to glow where they landed, floating so slowly, like they didn't want to touch the ground. Lena opened one eye and blinked. Her feathers were stiff and frosted at the tips. Her beak was cold. Her body ached from curling so tightly through the night. Kai was already staring up at the sky. "We survived," he whispered. "We really did." Lena gave a sleepy nod, her voice thin. I thought maybe the night would never end." Kai stretched his wings and stood slowly. "Well, it did. And now, we work." Lena sat up straighter, brushing off the snow stuck to her wings. "Yes. Today we build. We find food. We get ready for the next night." Her tummy gave a quiet growl. Kai nodded. "We'll gather twigs. Maybe dig a little. Look for berries." But then, a gentle breeze blew across the mountain. The sunlight warmed their feathers like a blanket straight from Mama's nest. And the snowy hill just beside them looked very slidable. Kai tilted his head. "It's really pretty today." Lena turned and smiled softly as the light danced across the snow. "It doesn't feel cold anymore." Kai took one step onto the slope. Just one slide before work. Lena hesitated. Just one. What harm could it do? Then she smiled, that big, sparkly-eyed smile she always had when adventure was near. "Okay. Just one." With a flap and a hop, they both launched themselves down the hill, wings flapping, feathers flying, giggles echoing. Wee-ee! Kai rolled all the way down and popped up with snow on his head. That was the best one yet. Lena spun in circles, arms wide. Let's do it again. And again. And again. The snow, once scary and biting, now felt like a playground. They raced. They played tag. Kai made a crown out of pine needles. Lena built a snowbird family and named them all Feather. They chased snowflakes with their beaks, trying to catch them mid-air. They built a tiny snow nest and pretended it had a fireplace. Lena pretended she was the Queen of Snow, giving out twigs as royal treasure. Kai bowed low. Your Majesty, I present this stick. It is crooked and mostly useless. Lena laughed. Then it shall be my royal wand. The sparkle of the sun made it easy to forget. Easy to forget the cold. Easy to forget the hunger. Easy to forget the night before. And most of all, easy to forget the promise they had made. That morning, 2 older robins flew overhead. Their wings were strong, their feathers sleek, and their eyes gentle. Little ones, one called down kindly, don't waste the sun. The clouds return quickly here. Kai waved a snowy wing and called back, we'll build later. The other robin frowned. There may not be a later. Gather food while the snow is soft. Night will come again. But Lena was chasing snowflakes and didn't hear. Kai was carving a slide path with his feet, making it smoother for their next race. And so, they did not listen. The sun reached its highest point in the sky. Lena paused for a moment, her tummy giving a soft grumble. Do we have anything to eat? Kai looked around. Maybe there's something under the snow. They scratched at the surface with their tiny feet, poking with their beaks. All they found were frozen leaves, dry bark, and a rock that looked very not tasty. Kai frowned. Let's look later. Lena nodded slowly. Okay, later. They played until the shadows returned. The sun dipped lower, painting the snow in soft pinks and purples. The air grew sharper again. The wind no longer tickled, it pressed. Pushed. Nudged them towards something they didn't want to feel again. The soft snow turned hard beneath their feet. The sparkle dulled. The laughter faded. Lena tried to smile. It's okay. Just like last night. We can get through it again. Kai nodded quickly. We're strong. But, they were already tired. Already hungrier. And the sparkle of the snow no longer felt magical. It felt like a reminder. A reminder that they had waited, again. That they had promised, but didn't act. They stood in silence as the last light disappeared. Then, without a word, they returned to their same little spot under the branch. Still no shelter. Still no food. Just snow. And silence. Lena curled into a ball and whispered, we said we would build. Kai tucked in close beside her. We will. Tomorrow. But we said that yesterday. Kai didn't answer. Not because he didn't care. But because he didn't know what else to say. The two of them sat there, under the small snow-covered branch, wishing it was bigger, warmer, anything at all. A small tear rolled from Lena's eye and disappeared into her feathers. I don't want to be cold again, she said. Kai looked down, his voice soft as frost. I just wanted one more day of fun. I did too, Lena whispered. They huddled tighter. The stars blinked awake above them. The same stars they had seen the night before. And the night before that. But this time, they didn't feel like wishes. They felt like reminders. Of promises broken. Of lessons still waiting to be learned. And though the mountain was still beautiful. And though the snow still sparkled in the moonlight. Their hearts were a little heavier. The next morning, the sun returned again. But it didn't feel the same. It rose slowly, shyly. Its warmth was soft, like it didn't quite believe it was wanted. Lena's feathers were stiff. Her wings felt heavy. Kai didn't roll or race. He just sat, staring down the mountain, watching the shadows melt. Lena nudged him gently. "Maybe," she said, her voice small, "we really need to change something." Kai nodded slowly. He didn't speak right away. Because something inside him was changing too. Not all at once. Not with lightning or thunder. Just a soft shift. Like snow falling from a tree. Quiet. But real. "I think," Kai said, finally, "I think we're getting tired of tomorrow." Lena looked up. Her eyes were big. Hopeful. But unsure. "Then maybe," she said, "we start with just today." Kai nodded. And somewhere nearby. Not too far from the slope they had slid on. A little sound was coming. Soft feet in the snow. A hum. A smile. Someone was about to arrive. Someone who had once made the same mistakes. And learned to try anyway. But for now, Kai and Lena sat together in silence. Tired. Hungry. Hopeful. And just a little closer to change than they had ever been before. The next day, the snow on the mountain glittered beneath a pale sun. Kai and Lena woke later than usual, their feathers still dusted with frost, their bellies still empty. Lena stretched her tiny wings, blinking slowly. Still no food. Kai mumbled, still no nest. And yet. Despite the cold, despite the ache, the sky was blue, and the slope still sparkled. So instead of working, instead of gathering twigs or digging for seeds, they played. Just one more time. Kai made a funny snow hat out of leaves. Lena built another snowbird and gave it a pebble smile. Their laughter floated through the trees like soft bells on the wind. Later that morning, as Lena hopped down a soft path in the snow, her wing brushing gently against the frost-covered branches, she heard a voice. "Whoa, careful there. That's my drying leaf." Lena turned quickly. There, not far from where she stood, was a little bird she had never seen before. She was about the same size as Lena, with soft gray feathers, bright golden eyes, and a warm, welcoming smile. Lena tilted her head. "Are you drying a leaf?" The little bird giggled. "Yup. It'll go under my nest corner. Makes it warm on my feet." Lena's eyes grew wide. "You have a nest here? In the snow?" The other bird puffed her chest proudly. "Sure do. It's not perfect, but it's mine." Lena stepped closer, her curiosity stronger than the cold. "What's your name?" "Bree," the bird chirped. "What's yours?" "I'm Lena." "Nice to meet you, Lena." Bree's eyes sparkled kindly. "You look like you've been out here for a while." Lena lowered her gaze. "Yeah, my brother and we've been trying to, well, we've been, sort of, playing." Bree smiled gently. "I used to play all day too. I loved it. Sliding down snowbanks, making frosty forts, singing to icicles." Lena's beak lifted just a bit. "That sounds like us." Bree nodded. "It was fun. Until one night, I got caught in a snowstorm. I didn't have any food. No shelter. I almost didn't make it." Lena's feathers drooped. "That sounds really scary." It was. Bree looked off toward the trees. "But it changed me. After that, I decided I didn't have to do everything at once. I just needed to do one small thing each day. One seed. One twig. One try." Lena's eyes sparkled with wonder. "And now you have your own nest." "It's not fancy," Bree said with a smile. But it keeps me warm. I even have a spot where I save my favorite berries. Lena giggled. You save them? I usually eat mine the second I find them. Bree leaned closer. Wanna see my nest? Lena's wings fluttered in excitement. Can I? Of course. Bree led her to a small hollow under a snowy branch. It wasn't big or perfect, but it had walls made of woven twigs, a patch of moss on the side, and a neat little pile of acorns and dried berries tucked in the back. Lena gasped. It's beautiful. Bree beamed. I built it one piece at a time. Some days I didn't feel like it. Some days I was too tired. But I kept going. Lena stared at the nest. She imagined sleeping in it. Waking up with something to eat. Not shivering. Not hiding from the wind. She wanted that. So very much. But then. A voice echoed from the slope behind her. Lena. Where are you? Kai. Lena turned to Bree. That's my brother. I should go. Bring him too, Bree said. I can show you both. Lena's smile faded a little. I don't think he'll come. Bree tilted her head. Why not? Lena hesitated. He said we don't need anyone's advice. That we're fine just playing and resting. He asked me to ignore other birds. Bree's smile softened. Sometimes, she said gently, birds say things because they're scared. Not because they don't care. Lena looked down at her feet. But if I talk to you, he'll be mad. Bree nodded slowly. I understand. There was a long silence. Then Lena took a small step back. I should go. Okay, Bree whispered. If you ever want to talk again, I'll be right here. Lena nodded and turned around. She flapped her wings and flew back toward the slope, where Kai was spinning in the snow, pretending to be a snow dragon. There you are, he called out. I thought you got eaten by a snow worm. Lena gave a quiet laugh, but her heart felt heavier now. She didn't tell him about Bree. Not yet. The rest of the day passed in more laughter, more sliding, more pretending that the cold wasn't creeping closer again. But in the quiet moments, when Kai wasn't looking, Lena kept thinking about the nest. The warmth. The twigs. The tiny saved berries. And the bird with golden eyes who smiled like sunshine and built something strong, out of small things. That night, as the stars returned, and the cold wrapped around them once more, Lena didn't fall asleep right away. She stayed curled close to her brother under their usual snowy branch. But her eyes stayed open. And in her heart, a tiny thought began to bloom. A quiet little hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could start too. Even if it was small. Even if it was one twig. One seed. One try. The sun slipped behind the mountain, and the world changed. The golden snow turned silver, then gray. Then, it disappeared into white. The wind returned with sharp teeth and icy breath. It didn't whisper anymore. It roared. Lena and Kai tucked themselves under their usual snowy branch, the same spot they always used. But something felt different this time. The cold was deeper. Stronger. Almost mean. The snow fell sideways, not down. It bit at their feet and stung their faces. Kai curled tighter. It's just wind. It'll pass. Lena didn't answer. She was too busy trying to stop shaking. Her little body trembled beneath her feathers. Her belly ached. It had been so long since she'd eaten anything warm. And her wings. They felt heavy. So heavy. She couldn't fold them properly anymore. They were stiff. Frozen at the tips. She tucked her head down, but the snow kept coming. creeping into her feathers, sneaking beneath her legs, wrapping around her like a cold, wet blanket. Kai shifted and pressed close. We just need to hold on until morning. Right? Lena opened her beak to answer, but no words came. Only a shaky breath. She shut her eyes tightly. She was scared. More scared than she had ever been. Her mind drifted, back to Bree. The warm nest. The neat little pile of berries. The soft leaf tucked under her feet. Lena whispered, barely loud enough for Kai to hear, "I almost stayed with her." Kai blinked. "What?" "With Bree," Lena murmured. "The bird I met yesterday. She has a nest. A real one. Not pretend. It keeps her warm." Kai was quiet. Lena went on, her voice trembling like her wings. "She said she used to be just like us. Playing. Laughing. Ignoring the cold. But one night, she almost didn't make it." Kai's head lifted. Lena kept going. "So she changed. She started doing one small thing a day. Just one. A twig. A seed. Something little. And now. She swallowed. Now she has a home." Kai looked down at the snow. Lena stared at him. "We could do it too, Kai. We could try. Just a little. Just like Bree." Kai said nothing. The wind howled louder, throwing snow in swirls around them. Lena's voice cracked. "I don't want to freeze again. I don't want to almost make it." Kai turned his eyes away. And Lena's heart sank. Was he still pretending it was okay? Still hoping the cold would change without them? Still waiting for a tomorrow that never came? The storm raged on. Lena tucked in tighter, trying not to cry. But the tears came anyway. They froze before they could fall. She thought about her warm nest at home. About Mama's voice. About Papa's wings. About how she had once believed she could just chirp, and be safe forever. Now, everything hurt. Her legs. Her back. Even her hope. And the snow showed no kindness. Only silence. Only bitter cold. She closed her eyes. And wished, from the deepest part of her shivering little heart, that she could go back to Bree. That she could start again. But she was too cold to move now. All she could do was whisper. "I'm sorry." When the storm finally stopped, the sky was pale and quiet. Not golden. Not bright. Just, tired. The sun peeked through soft, gray clouds. And Kai opened his eyes. Lena was curled into a tight ball beside him, unmoving. His chest tightened. He nudged her. "Lena?" No answer. He tried again, gently shaking her wing. "Lena." Finally, her head stirred. She looked up at him. Her eyes were dull. Her feathers stiff with ice. But she was alive. Barely. Kai's beak trembled. "You scared me." Lena whispered, "I thought I was going to, not wake up." She tried to sit up, but it was hard. Her muscles felt like snow. Her wings wouldn't lift properly. Kai looked around at the endless white. "We can't keep doing this." Lena nodded slowly. Her voice was a soft breath. "We don't have to." Kai looked at her. "I told you about Bree last night," she said, "but I didn't tell you everything." He listened quietly. She was kind. She didn't laugh when I said I was scared. She didn't call me lazy or silly. She just showed me how she started. One twig. One seed. One step. Lena paused. She even invited us. Kai blinked. "She did?" Lena nodded. But I left. Because you said not to listen. And I didn't want to upset you. Kai looked down. He felt something heavy settle on his chest. Something he didn't like. I was wrong, he said. Lena tilted her head. What? Kai's voice was quiet. I was wrong, Lena. I didn't want to hear about Bree because I was scared. Scared that if I tried, I'd fail. So I pretended we didn't need help. Lena listened. I thought we could just wait out the cold, he continued. That it would pass. But it doesn't. And we can't wait anymore. Lena gave the faintest smile. Not because everything was better. But because Kai had finally seen what she saw. We could go back, she said gently. To Bree's nest. Kai hesitated. Do you think she'd let us? I think, Lena said, she'd open her wings and smile. They sat in silence for a moment, watching the trees in the distance. Bree's nest was out there somewhere. Not too far. But far enough that it would take effort. Lena stood slowly, her legs shaking. Kai offered her his wing. She took it. And together, they took one wobbly step forward. Not toward play. Not toward pretend. But toward something real. Something warm. And something new. The snow had fallen again in the night. Soft. Thick. Quiet. It blanketed the world in silver and silence. When the first bits of sun peeked through the clouds, Lena and Kai sat side by side, watching the light touch the tips of the icy trees. Lena glanced toward the forest trail. Toward Bree. She had made up her mind. I'm going today, she said softly. Kai looked at her. To Bree's? Lena nodded. We can't wait anymore. I want to try. Kai was quiet for a moment. Yeah, okay. So they packed nothing, because they had nothing. Just their tired wings and empty bellies and a fragile hope. They started walking slowly, feet sinking into the fresh snow. Their path twisted between the frozen trees, where icicles hung like glass feathers and the wind hummed low lullabies. But not far down the trail, they heard a voice. Oi! Step lightly, feathery ones. Kai blinked. Did that twig just talk? From behind a snowy log popped out a small, plump sparrow with goggles made of frozen droplets and a hat made entirely from dried moss. I'm Map, said the bird proudly. I chart the trails. Snow shifts, you know. Can't just walk through like it's a spring picnic. Lena smiled. Hi Map. Kai gave a polite nod. Is this the way to the lower grove? Map squinted. It is, but not easy. Ice patches. Fallen trees. Angry squirrels with no sense of humor. Kai raised an eyebrow. Angry squirrels. Map nodded dramatically. Chased me 3 trees high last week. Guarding their walnut stash. Lena giggled. But Kai didn't. Instead, he looked further down the trail. The snow was thicker now. The trees more crowded. The light dimmer. Map turned to Lena. You heading down for a nest? Yes, Lena said softly. My friend Bree said it's warm there. Map tapped his goggles. Warm? Depends. I've seen nests fall apart by nightfall. Takes time, muscle, patience. Kai's feathers twitched. So. It's not safe. Map tilted his head. Nothing's really safe out here. But birds still try. He tipped his hat and disappeared behind a snow mound. Lena turned to Kai. He didn't mean we shouldn't go. Kai mumbled, he said nests fall apart. They kept walking, but slower now. Not long after, they met another bird. This one was tall and thin with long tail feathers and a sour expression. She was pecking at a frozen seed stuck to a rock. "Ugh," she muttered. "Another frozen one." Kai cleared his throat. "Hello." The bird sighed. "Name's Nara. Been out here 2 winters. No treasure. No glow fruits. No magical valleys." Lena's eyes widened. "You've been here that long?" "Too long," Nara said. "I built. Rebuilt. Got blown down. Got snowed on. Thought about giving up 12 times last week alone." Kai asked, "Then why are you still here?" Nara shrugged. "I guess I'm stubborn." She gave the seed a final peck and flew off without another word. Lena turned to Kai, but he had already looked away. His wings drooped. His steps slowed. And then, it started to snow again. Just lightly. But enough to paint the world in that soft, quiet white that made everything feel farther away. The trail curved around a frost-covered rock, and Kai stopped walking. Lena kept going a few steps, then noticed he wasn't following. She turned. "Kai." He looked up at the sky. Then down the path. Then back the way they had come. Lena stepped closer. "What is it?" Kai's voice was small. "This is too hard." Lena tilted her head. "What do you mean?" He stared at his feet. "Map said the trail is dangerous. Nara said she's been trying for 2 years with no treasure. And we can't even keep warm for 1 night. But Bree said we don't have to do everything at once," Lena said. "Just 1 twig. 1 try." Kai shook his head. "I don't want 1 twig. I want to feel safe again. I want to laugh again. I want to go back to when everything was easy." Lena's voice trembled. "There's nothing back at the old nest. At least it's not this," Kai snapped. Then instantly looked sorry. Lena stepped back, eyes shining. "You said you were ready to try." "I thought I was," Kai said. "But I'm not. I thought there'd be magic. A moment where it all got better. But it just keeps getting colder. Harder. Scarier." He spread his wings slowly. Lena whispered, "What are you doing?" Kai didn't look at her. "I'm going back." "No," Lena said. He looked up. "You should come too." She shook her head. "I'm going to Bree." Kai's eyes filled with sadness. "You'll freeze again." "Maybe," Lena said. "But maybe I'll build something. Something small. Something better." Kai stared at her. She stared back. The snow between them grew heavier. And then, without another word, he took off. His wings flapped hard. He rose into the gray sky, above the snowy trees, and disappeared behind the bend. Lena stood frozen. The sound of his wings faded into silence. She was alone. Truly alone. The world didn't speak. The wind didn't sing. She looked back once, but he wasn't there. And then she sat. Right where she had stood. In the middle of the trail. She lowered her head, tucked her wings tight, and let herself cry. She cried because it was hard. She cried because it was scary. But mostly, she cried because Kai had always been by her side. And now he wasn't. The cold swirled gently around her, brushing past her like a quiet reminder, winter waits for no one. She didn't know how long she sat there. It could have been minutes. It could have been more. But just when her tears slowed, she heard a soft crunch in the snow. Lena looked up, blinking through her blur of sadness. And there, standing a few steps away, was Bree. The snow had slowed. The wind had hushed. And the only sound on the trail was the soft, quiet sniffle of a baby bird sitting all alone. Lena didn't know how long she had been sitting there. Her wings were tucked tight. Her head drooped low. Her cheeks still wet from crying. She hadn't moved since Kai flew away. And maybe, she didn't want to. What's the point? She thought. It's too cold. It's too hard. I can't do this alone. Then. A sound. A gentle crunch of snow behind her. Lena turned, her eyes tired and wide. And there, stepping softly through the white path, was Bree. Her golden eyes warm. Her feathers fluffed against the cold. And her smile, steady and kind. Lena blinked. Bree. Bree nodded. Hi, little feather. Lena wiped at her face quickly. I thought you might be busy. I was, Bree said. I was fluffing the moss in my nest. She sat gently beside Lena. But then I saw something falling from the trees. Something small and shiny. Lena tilted her head. Snowflakes. Bree smiled. Tears. Lena looked down. I followed them, Bree whispered, and they led me here. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The wind rustled lightly through the trees, and the snow twirled around their toes like tiny dancers. I wanted to be brave, Lena whispered. I wanted to build, to try, but Kai. Her voice wobbled. He left. Bree nodded softly. That must have hurt. It did, Lena said. We've always been together. We played, we laughed, even when we were freezing, at least we had each other. Bree's feathers ruffled gently in the breeze. And now, you don't. Lena sniffled. No. Another pause. Then Bree leaned closer and looked into Lena's big sparkling eyes. I know how that feels. Lena blinked. You do. Bree gave a slow nod. Before I started building my nest, I had a sister. Her name was Sky. She was funny and brave and wild. We were like two wings of the same bird. Lena tilted her head. What happened? One day, Bree said, we ran out of food. We were tired. Cold. I wanted to build, to change. But Sky said it was silly. Too much work. She flew off and never came back. Lena gasped softly. Did you cry? Every day, Bree said gently. But crying didn't keep me warm. So I tried something small. One twig. One day. She smiled. And little by little, I made a home. Lena stared at the snow, quiet for a long time. I thought I'd be brave like Bree, she whispered. But now I just feel small. Bree touched Lena's wing gently. You are small. And that's okay. Small birds still build strong nests. Lena looked up, hope flickering in her eyes. Even alone. You're not alone anymore, Bree said with a wink. I'm here. Lena's voice trembled. But, what if I mess up? What if I pick the wrong twig? What if I can't find any seeds? Bree giggled. Then we laugh, and we try again. I once built a wall out of ice cubes. Lena's eyes widened. You did? Yup. They all melted. I had a soggy feather rump for 2 days. Lena laughed through a sniffle. There's no perfect twig, Bree said. Just the one you choose today. Lena was quiet. Then, slowly, carefully, she stood up. Her legs were wobbly. Her feathers still frosted. But she stood. I want to try, she said. Just one twig. One seed. Bree's eyes sparkled. That's the spirit. Lena wiped her eyes. You'll help me? I'll walk with you, Bree said. But the twig, the twig is yours to carry." Lena smiled. It wasn't big. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. Together, they walked down the path. The wind brushed past them, but it didn't feel so scary now. Bree pointed out soft moss growing under a log. "Great for nest floors." Lena found a little acorn cap and placed it on her head. "I'm ready for battle." Bree chuckled. "Fear the mighty warrior of fluff." They giggled as they walked, the snow crunching softly under their feet. They paused by a crooked twig sticking out of the ground. Bree nodded toward it. "That one looks strong." Lena took a deep breath, bent down, and picked it up. Her very first twig. It felt heavier than it looked. Not just in her wings, but in her heart. But it also felt good. She turned to Bree. "Where should I put it?" Bree smiled. "That's your choice. This is your nest now." Lena nodded and followed Bree to the little hollow under the snowy branch. The same hollow she had seen days before. But now, it felt different. Because now, it had space for her. Lena placed the twig gently beside the others. It wasn't perfect. It leaned a little to the side. But Bree didn't say a word. She just gave her a proud nod. "That's a good twig," she said. Lena beamed. And for the first time in a long time, she felt warm. Not because of the sun. Not because of a fire. But because of a feeling growing in her chest. A quiet kind of brave. As the sky turned orange with evening light, Bree and Lena sat beside their little pile of twigs and talked. They shared stories. Dreams. Silly songs. Lena sang one about a dancing mushroom and a flying peanut. Bree laughed so hard she nearly rolled into her berry pile. That night, as the stars peeked out above them, Lena curled up next to her tiny piece of the nest. It wasn't finished. Not even close. But it had begun. She yawned and looked up at the sky. Somewhere, maybe. Kai was looking at it too. She missed him. But now, she didn't feel like giving up. She closed her eyes, her heart tired but full. Tomorrow, she'd gather another twig. Maybe even a seed. And maybe one day. Just maybe. She'd build something stronger than even the coldest night. Morning came softly. The sky stretched wide and sleepy, painted with gentle pink clouds and snowflakes that sparkled like stardust. Lena opened her eyes and blinked slowly. She was still nestled beside the little wall of twigs she had placed with Bree the night before. It wasn't much. But it was hers. She looked over and saw Bree humming quietly, brushing tiny specks of snow off a pile of seeds. "Good morning, Sleepy Fluff," Bree smiled. Lena giggled, her voice still fuzzy from sleep. "Good morning." Bree stretched her wings and stood. "Are you ready to build again?" Lena hesitated. "I don't know if I can do much." Bree nodded with her usual calm. "That's all right. Let's not try to do everything today. Just one twig. One seed." Lena's eyes brightened. "One. One is plenty," Bree said. "Especially when you do it with your whole heart." And so, they began. Bree fluttered gently toward a tree with thin branches, and Lena followed. "Pick one that speaks to you," Bree said, pointing her wing toward a nest of twigs peeking out from the snow. Lena tilted her head. "Do twigs talk?" "Sometimes," Bree whispered with a wink. They giggled as Lena found a small, curly twig that looked like it had a twirly mustache. "I shall name it Sir Twigsalot," she declared. "Excellent choice, Your Majesty," Bree said with a bow. Together, they carried Sir Twigsalot back and placed him gently on the growing nest wall. Then came the search for seeds. They peered under leaves, peeked behind rocks, and even climbed a branch that looked like a crooked wizard's wand. Finally, Bree spotted 2 tiny golden seeds glistening beneath a frozen berry bush. "One for you," Bree said, gently pushing a seed toward Lena. "One for me." Lena picked hers up slowly. "It's so small." "And yet," Bree said, "it could feed you through the cold." Small things are often the most powerful. They sat together and nibbled their seeds, warm sunlight pouring over them like honey. As they rested, Lena asked, "Bree, do all birds build like this? Just a little every day?" Bree smiled. "Not just birds. All kinds of creatures. Would you like to hear some of their stories?" Lena's ears perked up. "Yes, please." Bree pointed to a hilltop just beyond the trees. "Up there lives a squirrel named Sir Nibbleton," she said. "He has the biggest nut tower in the forest." Lena's eyes widened. "A tower?" "Oh yes," Bree said. "But do you know how he built it?" "How?" "1 nut a day," Bree whispered. "He'd collect just one and place it carefully on the stack. He even named them all. There's Sir Crunch, Lady Acornella, and Sir Cashew the Bold." Lena giggled. "That's amazing." And, Bree added, "he once lost half his tower in a windstorm. But instead of crying for days, he just started again. 1 nut. 1 name. 1 moment." Lena nodded slowly. "That's brave." "It is," Bree said softly. "Sometimes starting again is the bravest thing of all." Then Bree pointed her wing toward the frozen pond. "Over there lives Wobble," she said. "A baby duck who wanted to learn to ice dance." "Ice dance?" Lena gasped. "Yes," Bree chuckled. "But Wobble, well, she kept falling. She must have been so embarrassed." "She was," Bree nodded. "She slipped, she slid, she even landed beak first into a snowbank." Lena giggled again. "But each day, she got up," Bree continued. "She didn't try to learn the whole dance. Just one move. A turn. A hop. A waddle. And now. What? She does swan spins." Lena's eyes sparkled. "I want to see that." Bree grinned. "She performs every Tuesday. Bring a scarf, it gets breezy." Lena laughed so hard she almost rolled over. Then Bree pointed to a tall tree in the distance with hundreds of vines wrapped around it like ribbons. "Up there lives Mossy," Bree said. "A tiny green caterpillar who wanted to climb the tree and see the stars." Lena whispered, "Did she make it?" "It took her all winter," Bree said. "She'd crawl 1 leaf a day. Sometimes 2. She'd nap under mushroom umbrellas and sing songs to beetles. But she never stopped. And one day, she reached the top." Lena was quiet for a long time. Then she looked at her own little nest wall. It was made of 6 twigs. One with a bend. One with a curl. One that still had a pine needle stuck to it. It wasn't a tower. It wasn't perfect. But, it was growing. She looked up at Bree. "Maybe I can keep going too." Bree nodded. "You already are." The rest of the day passed like a soft melody. They found 2 more twigs, both shaped like tiny lightning bolts. They spotted a feather that had floated down from a bluebird's tail. Bree said it could make a cozy pillow. They rested often. Sipped melted snow. Hummed songs. And at one point, a squirrel named Sir Nibbleton did stop by with a walnut balanced on his head. "Good day, nest builders," he chirped. Lena giggled. "Sir Nibbleton." In the fluff, he winked, then twirled and tumbled down a snowbank with a theatrical bow. Lena smiled for a long time after that. When the sky finally turned lavender and the stars began to blink open their eyes, Lena placed one last twig onto her nest. It bent slightly, but stayed. She looked at Bree. That's 7. Bree looked proud. A very lucky number. They curled up close as the night drifted down like a blanket. Bree whispered, "See? That's how you build strength, slowly. A little each day." Lena yawned. "Do you think I can really make it through the cold?" Bree whispered back, "You already are." Lena smiled. Her eyes blinked shut. And as sleep carried her gently into dreams, she didn't see herself running, or flying fast, or winning anything. She saw herself picking up a twig, smiling, and placing it gently on her nest. One small step, one easy task, and a future, quietly growing. The sky was the color of morning peaches when Lena opened her eyes. She blinked slowly, her feathers warm beneath a thin blanket of moss and twigs. Her little nest wall was getting taller now. It curved around her like a gentle hug. Bree was already up, balancing on a snow-covered rock, stretching one wing high into the air. "Morning stretches," she chirped. "Essential for brave nest builders." Lena giggled. "You look like a very sleepy ballerina." Bree grinned and twirled until she tumbled into a pile of snow. They both laughed until their bellies wiggled. Then Bree stood up and brushed herself off. "Ready to build another beautiful day?" Lena tilted her head. "What are we doing first?" Bree's eyes sparkled. "We're following our rhythm." "You mean like a song?" Lena asked. Bree tapped her wing gently against the ground. "Sort of. But it's also called a routine." Lena blinked. "What's a routine?" "It's a gentle rhythm your day can dance to," Bree explained. "Something you do again and again, until it becomes easy. Like brushing your feathers, or saying goodnight." Lena thought for a moment. "Oh. Like a cozy pattern?" "Exactly," Bree said. "Routines help your body feel safe, and your heart feel ready. They stop your mind from saying, later, and help you say, just one thing now." Lena's ears perked. "Even when I feel lazy?" Bree smiled kindly. "Especially then." So they began. Morning, find one seed. They flapped gently down to the berry patch, where the snow sparkled like it was winking at them. Bree lifted a leaf, and underneath, 2 golden seeds waited. Lena carefully picked up one. "Still small. But still mighty," Bree said, popping hers into her beak. "Small steps melt big fears." As they munched, Bree added, "Do you know what procrastination is?" Lena furrowed her brow. "Is it a kind of squirrel?" Bree burst into laughter. "Close. Procrastination is what happens when your mind says, 'I'll do it later,' again and again, until the day is over and nothing gets done." "Oh," Lena whispered. "I think I've met that squirrel before." "But rhythm," Bree continued, "rhythm helps chase that squirrel away. Midday, add 1 twig." Together, they wandered through the trees, playing a game called Twig Treasure Hunt. Each time they found a twig, they had to name it something silly. Lena held up a curvy one and giggled. "Captain Sticklebottom." Bree snorted. "Reporting for nest duty." Back at the nest, they carefully tucked Captain Sticklebottom into place. The wall was really taking shape now. It blocked the wind, caught the snow, made their nest feel like home. "Afternoon, fly a little further." "Today," Bree said, "we visit the singing pine." Lena's eyes grew wide. "It sings?" "You'll see." They flew gently over the trees, the wind carrying their feathers like music. At the top of a tall hill stood a crooked pine tree with icicles dangling from its branches. As the wind blew through, the icicles clinked and chimed like tiny bells. Lena gasped. "It really does sing." Bree nodded. "It only sings for those who try something new." Lena smiled. She had never flown this far. Never heard this song. And yet, here she was. But just as they were about to head home, Bree paused mid-air and pointed. "Wait, look who's just below the hill." Lena followed Bree's gaze and saw a small cave nestled into the snow, with puffs of steam gently rising from it. Inside, was someone she remembered. A plump, round owl wearing a mossy scarf and snowflake goggles. "Professor Hootley," Bree called. The old owl turned and beamed. "Well, Feathers and Frost. If it isn't Bree and her new apprentice." Lena's cheeks puffed with pride. "Hi, Professor." He invited them inside, where tiny drawings of snowflakes were pinned to the cave walls, spirals, zigzags, stars, hearts, even one shaped like a sleepy caterpillar. Bree whispered, "He tracks snowflakes." Hootley nodded proudly. "Each flake is different. And each day, I study just one. I used to try to catch them all, but that made me dizzy and grumpy." Lena giggled. "One flake a day is enough," he said, pouring warm pine needle tea into thimble-sized cups. "Routines help you notice the wonder, not rush past it." Just then, a rustle came from a nearby log. A little nose peeked out. Then whiskers. Then, 4 tiny mice popped out wearing capes made of flower petals. "Tea time," they cheered. Professor Hootley chuckled. "Ah yes. The mouse family. They moved in after mistaking my acorn collection for a hotel." One of the mice bowed. "We're still waiting on our room service." "Not today, Squeaky," the owl smiled. Lena and Bree laughed as the smallest mouse tried to juggle snowberries and dropped every single one. After stories and tea, they thanked the professor and flapped gently home. Evening, rest and share a story. Back in their nest, the sky turned to velvet. The stars blinked open like sleepy lanterns. Bree yawned and said, "Today was full." Lena nodded. "I liked learning about the snowflakes. And the flower cape mice?" Bree smirked. Lena giggled. "Especially the juggling one." Bree curled beside her. "Would you like to tell tonight's story?" Lena smiled. "Okay." She cleared her throat softly. Once upon a time, there was a baby bird who kept saying later. Until one day, she met a friend who gave her a rhythm. A routine. A tiny plan for every day. And soon, she didn't say later anymore. She looked at Bree. She said, "Now." Bree nodded. A perfect ending. That night, as the stars danced quietly above them, Lena whispered one more question. "How long does it take for a rhythm to become a real habit?" Bree smiled gently. "Some say, 7 days. Just 1 week of doing the same little things. Morning. Midday. Afternoon. Evening." She looked out into the snowy trees. 7 days of choosing now instead of later, she said softly, and your rhythm becomes part of you. A habit that helps you keep going. Even when the wind blows hard, or you don't feel strong. Lena blinked up at the sky. "So even laziness can't stop me?" "Not if your habits are strong," Bree whispered. "Because habits whisper back, I've done this before. I can do it again." Lena's eyes began to close, her heart filled with peace. And in her dreams, she was flying above a field of singing pines, with flower-caped mice cheering below, and snowflakes gently dancing beside her. A snowflake landed on her wing and whispered, "Just one thing today, and again tomorrow." And Lena smiled in her sleep. The sun rose gently over the cold mountain. Its golden light stretched across the snow, touching trees, icicles, and the tiny nest that Lena and Bree had built together, twig by twig, day by day. Lena was already awake. She sat at the edge of the nest, legs swinging, watching the first snowflakes of the day tumble from the sky like sleepy feathers. Bree fluttered beside her. "You're up early." Lena smiled. I like mornings now. Bree blinked in mock surprise. Who are you, and what have you done with the baby bird who never wanted to get out of the nest? They giggled. But Bree was proud. She could see the glow in Lena's eyes. The strength in her wings. The steadiness in her heart. You know, Bree said, it's been more than 7 days. Lena tilted her head. Since what? Since we started your rhythm, Bree said. Your routine. That little plan. Lena blinked. Oh. Bree nodded. And guess what that means? Lena grinned. It's a habit now. Bree smiled back. A strong one. They high-winged each other. Then set off for their morning seed. They passed the usual berry patch, waved to the chipmunks still wearing matching acorn hats, and sang a silly song as they collected breakfast. After their midday twig, Bree gave Lena a curious look. How would you feel, she asked, about helping someone else today? Lena blinked. Me? Bree nodded. You've grown strong. You've learned to build, to fly, to keep going even when it's hard. What if you shared that gift? Lena's heart fluttered nervously. But I'm still learning. And that, Bree said softly, is exactly why you'll be good at it. Lena thought about it. And nodded. They flew a little farther than usual, past the singing pine, past Professor Hootley's snowflake cave, where one of the mice was doing somersaults in a teacup, and down to a quiet clearing where a baby robin sat alone. She looked younger than Lena. Her feathers were ruffled. Her beak was streaked with tiny tears. Lena landed gently beside her. Hi, she said softly. I'm Lena. The little robin sniffled. Hi. What's your name? Lena asked. Josh. Nice to meet you, Josh. They sat in silence for a bit. Then Lena asked, Is your belly empty? Josh nodded. Lena reached into her tiny satchel and pulled out a seed. Here. Josh blinked. Really? Lena smiled. It's how I start every morning. As Josh nibbled, Lena said, Do you want to know a secret? Josh looked up. I used to cry under the snow. I used to say, I'll do it tomorrow. But then I met Bree, and she gave me something magical. Josh leaned in. What? A rhythm, Lena said. A routine. One seed. One twig. One flight. One story. Every day. Even when you're tired? Josh asked. Especially then, Lena whispered. Josh looked down. I don't think I can do that. Lena scooted closer. Then let's try together. Just for today. Josh nodded. And the three of them, Lena, Bree, and Josh, gathered one tiny seed. Found one curly twig. Flew in a circle over the singing pine, and even waved at Hootley, who shouted, Look at that new wing beat. And that evening, Josh told her very first story. It was about a brave baby worm who thought he was a dragon. Everyone laughed. Especially Bree. As the stars blinked above them, Lena sat with Josh tucked safely in their nest. Do you know what this is? She asked. Josh yawned. What? A new beginning. Josh smiled and fell asleep. Lena stayed up just a little longer. Looking out over the snow. Wondering if her brother, somewhere, was looking at the same stars. She missed him. She still loved him. And she wished he could see how far she'd come. She closed her eyes. And dreamed of flying further. Of teaching more. Of one day building a nest big enough for all the little birds who were cold, scared, and lost. And in the morning, she woke to a sound. A rustle in the snow. A flutter of familiar wings. She peeked out from the edge of the nest. And gasped. There, standing quietly at the base of the hill. Not chipmunks. Not mice. Not Bree. Lena turned her head, and her breath caught in her throat. Two birds were gliding toward her. Gracefully. Lovingly. Warm feathers, strong wings, kind eyes. Mama? Papa? They landed softly just ahead of her. Papa Ray's wings still had that gentle gray edge. Mama Sarah's feathers shimmered like sunlight. Lena, Mama whispered, stepping forward. Tears welled in Lena's eyes as she raced into their wings. She buried her face into Mama's chest, and Papa wrapped his wings around them both. I missed you so much, Lena sniffled. Papa nuzzled her gently. We've missed you too, little feather. Mama kissed the top of Lena's head. We heard from Uncle Oren, about everything. Lena blinked. Even about. Papa smiled. Your nest in Kai. Mama added softly, your bravery. Lena's voice trembled. It was hard. At first, I just wanted to play. And then, everything felt too big. Too cold. Too scary. But you didn't give up, Mama said, her eyes shining. You started. That's the most powerful step of all. Papa nodded. You grew stronger, one small moment at a time. Lena's chest filled with warmth. Then she heard a rustle behind her. Josh peeked out from the nest, blinking sleepily. Mama's eyes widened. And who is this sweet fluff? Lena smiled proudly. This is Josh. I'm helping her now, the way Bree helped me. Papa chuckled. Looks like we have a teacher in the family. Lena blushed. Mama looked around at the tidy nest, the food pile, the sparkle in her daughter's eyes. You've built something real, she said. Not just a nest. A habit. Lena looked down shyly. Sometimes I still get lazy. Sometimes I want to stop. Mama nodded gently. That's normal. Even grown-up birds get lazy. Even I do. You do. Lena gasped. Oh yes, Mama smiled. Which is why I use something very special. Lena leaned in. What is it? Mama grinned. The 2-minute rule. Lena tilted her head. 2 minutes. Papa chuckled. That's right. When something feels too big, too long, too hard, we promise ourselves we'll just start with 2 minutes. Mama explained, if I need to gather sticks and my wings feel too tired, I tell myself, just carry 1 twig. Just fly for 2 minutes. Lena's eyes widened. If you want to clean your nest, Mama continued, start with just 1 corner. Not the whole thing. Just 2 minutes. Papa added, want to read a book? Just 1 page. Want to practice flying? Just a tiny flap. Lena blinked. That's it? Mama nodded. Because the hardest part is starting. Papa smiled. Once you push the snowball down the hill, it rolls on its own, Lena whispered. Exactly, Mama said. And soon, 2 minutes turns into 10. And then into something wonderful. Lena sat quietly, her heart soaking up every word. Do you think it would work for me? She asked softly. It already has, Papa said. That afternoon, Lena tried it. Just 2 minutes, ***. She gathered a seed. Then added 1 silly-looking stick, which she named Twiggy Stardust. Then flapped her wings for a 2-minute loop around the singing pine. She was about to stop when Bree waved from a snowdrift, 2 more minutes of adventure. Lena grinned. Yes, please. They soared together, snowflakes swirling around them like glitter. They stopped by Professor Hutley's cave, where he was building a snowflake sculpture shaped like a penguin. 2 minutes of art every morning, he declared. Keeps my feathers in balance. Back at the nest, Lena told Josh about the 2-minute rule. Josh's eyes sparkled. That sounds doable. Let's try together, Lena said. They did 2 minutes of tidying their twig wall. 2 minutes of sorting their seed pile. And 2 minutes of laughing when a squirrel ran past them in a hat made from a walnut shell. That night, under the stars, Lena sat between Mama and Papa, Josh curled up nearby, and Bree humming softly beside them. Lena whispered, I used to think I had to do everything to get better. All at once. But now, you know, Mama said softly, that just a little is enough. Lena smiled. 2 minutes at a time. And in her heart, she felt strong. Because she didn't need to be perfect. She just needed to begin. And tomorrow? She would begin again. The mountain was quiet that morning. The snowflakes fell gently, slow, like feathers floating from the sky. Lena was already awake. She stood at the edge of her nest, watching the soft sparkle of the day. Her wings felt strong. Her heart felt full. And somewhere inside her chest, was a little flutter of something warm. Excitement. Because today felt different. Not because it was sunny. Not because there were berries. But because, she had a plan. As Bree landed beside her with a bundle of pine needle tea, she smiled. You're glowing, little fluff. Lena giggled. Guess what today is? Bree blinked. National Squirrel Hat Day. Lena burst into laughter. No. It's Reward Day. Bree tilted her head. Boo-hoo. Tell me more. Lena puffed up proudly. I'm going to give myself a reward, for starting. Bree sat down beside her, wings folded gently. Ah, that's a wonderful idea. Do you do it too? Lena asked. Bree nodded. Every time I begin something hard, I give my brain a little thank you. Something sweet. Something fun. Lena's eyes sparkled. Why does that work? Because, Bree said softly, your mind loves rewards. Even tiny ones. When you start a task, and give yourself something joyful right after, it learns that starting feels good. Lena blinked. So it helps me want to start again next time. Exactly, Bree nodded. It's like giving your heart a little cheerleader. Lena imagined a tiny cheerleading bird in her head, doing flips and waving pom-poms made of moss. She giggled. Bree smiled. Your reward doesn't have to be big. Sometimes mine is a nap in the sun. Or a berry. Or watching a cloud that looks like a dancing turtle. Lena thought. I think I'll make a list. She flew to the nest and grabbed a little twig. On a big leaf, she scratched out her reward list. 1. Berry treat. 2. Snow slide. 3. Dance with Bree. 4. Extra story time. 5. 1 acorn hat from Sir Nibbleton, if he allows it. Bree clapped her wings. That's a brilliant list. Then Lena stood tall. Okay, she said. Morning routine begins now. 1 seed. 1 twig. 1 tiny flight. She fluttered off, collected her seed, placed it proudly in her seed pile, and added a curly twig she'd named Sir Wobblebranch to her nest wall. Then she flew, just around the singing pine, a small circle, heart calm and steady. She returned with a grin. Done. Bree gave a cheer. Well done, little builder. Lena peeked at her list. Today's reward is, snow slide. They raced up the hill behind the nest, tumbled down through the glittering snow, spinning, laughing, feathers flying everywhere. Sir Nibbleton saw them from below and shouted, add a backflip and I'll award you a hat. Lena rolled into a puff of snow and shouted back, you're on. She flipped. She laughed. And when she landed, Sir Nibbleton tossed a walnut shell cap her way. Well earned, champion of the cold. Back in the nest, Lena caught her breath. Bree. Yes. This really works. I know, Bree said. Lena looked out over the snow, glowing with joy. I think I want to teach Josh the same thing. Bree gave a nod. Josh is ready. And so are you. That afternoon, Lena sat beside Josh in the nest. Josh's eyes looked a little droopy. Her wings drooped too. I don't feel like gathering today, she mumbled. Lena nodded gently. I used to feel that way too. Josh blinked. You did? Lena said. But then. I learned the magic of rewards. Josh sat up. Magic? Lena showed her the leaf with her reward list. You don't have to do everything right now, she whispered. Just start. One tiny thing. Then, give yourself something nice. Josh stared at the list. What's your favorite? Lena smiled. Snow slides. And dancing with Bree. Josh giggled. I think. I want to try. Just a little. And she did. She brought one seed back. Then added a baby twig to the side of the nest. Then, Tada, did a teeny tiny snow twirl and shouted, reward time. Lena clapped. What will it be? Josh thought hard. 3 acorn hats stacked like a tower. They both laughed so loud they scared a squirrel out of his boots. Later, as the sun turned soft and orange in the sky, Papa Ray and Mama Sarah returned to the nest for one final visit. They perched at the edge, watching Lena and Josh place another twig on the wall with care. She's not just surviving, Papa whispered. She's leading, Mama added softly. They stepped forward and wrapped their wings around Lena. Sweet feather, Mama said, we've seen all we needed to see. Lena blinked. You have. Papa smiled. You've grown. You've helped. You've taught. And now, Mama said gently, we can fly peacefully, knowing you are strong. Lena's chest tightened, but in a good way. She nodded slowly. I'll miss you. We'll always be watching the stars, Papa said. And thinking of you. They shared a long, warm hug. Then, with a final smile, Mama and Papa lifted their wings and soared gracefully into the sunset, golden light catching their feathers like magic. Lena stood at the edge of the nest and waved. And as the stars peeked into the sky once more, she whispered, thank you. Then turned back to her nest. Her rhythm. Her little family. And her next reward. The sky was quiet. Too quiet. Lena woke with a strange feeling in her chest. Something in the air had changed. The light felt heavier. The wind hummed louder. And the snowflakes, once gentle, now darted sideways through the trees like they were in a hurry to hide. Bree was already at the edge of the nest, squinting at the sky. The weather's turning, she said softly. Lena peeked out from behind a wall of twigs. Is it a storm? Bree nodded. A big one. Josh sat up, still half asleep. Like, big? Bree turned and nodded again. Big. The wind picked up. It tugged at the sides of the nest. A twig flew loose and spun through the air like a leaf on a wild ride. Lena's heart began to race. What do we do? We hold together, Bree said. And we stay calm. But staying calm was harder than it sounded. The sky turned gray. The snow fell faster. The wind howled like a wolf with cold paws. The nest shook. Twigs popped. The food pile scattered. And with one strong gust, crack. Part of the nest wall tumbled away. Josh screamed. Lena shouted. I can't do this. Lena cried, covering her head. Snow swirled around them, spinning and biting. We worked so hard. I know, Bree said, wrapping her wing over Lena's back. Lena trembled. It's gone. All of it. Bree's voice was soft but steady. Not all of it. You're here. I'm here. That means we can rebuild. Lena shook her head. But it's too much, again. Bree looked into Lena's big, teary eyes. I know it feels like starting over, she said gently. But this time, you're not who you were before. Lena sniffled. You're stronger now, Bree continued. And you know something most don't. What? How to begin. Even after everything breaks. Lena sat there in silence for a moment. Then slowly, she stood up. The storm still roared. But something inside her had quieted. She turned to Josh. You okay? Josh nodded, eyes wide. Are you okay? Lena gave a small, shaky smile. I think so. They waited under the branches of a tall snow tree until the storm passed. And when the sky finally calmed and the snowflakes softened, they looked at the damage. Twigs scattered. Shelter cracked. Seeds blown far away. Lena took a deep breath. And whispered, let's begin again. Just 2 minutes. Bree smiled. One twig. One twig, Lena nodded. They worked slowly that day. Colder. Tireder. But also, wiser. And funnier. Because Bree kept naming the broken twigs like they were dramatic actors. This one is Sir Flimsalot. He retired during the storm. And here lies Miss Crumbleaf, who once held up the roof. They giggled through tears. And placed their first new twig. One. Then another. The wall grew again. Bit by bit. That night, Lena placed her reward leaf in the snow and drew something new beside her list. A star. For strength. Because even though her reward today was just sitting by the fire with Josh and Bree and drinking pine needle cocoa, she had earned something more. The next day brought fog. Thick, whispery fog that made the world feel like a soft white blur. They could barely see their own wings. Let's find berries, Lena suggested. So off they went. But the fog made everything strange. Trees looked taller. Bushes looked like bears. Even a squirrel wearing socks on his ears didn't look quite like himself. I think we're lost, Josh whispered. They were. Lena's heart thumped again. Fear tiptoed back in. But Bree's voice came through the fog like a lullaby. Let's stop. Breathe. Think. So they did. Lena closed her eyes. Okay, she said. We flew downhill. Toward the sun. Bree nodded. What else? There was a tree that looked like a llama, Josh added. They giggled. And turned. And found it. The llama tree. And not far beyond it, home. I can't believe we found our way, Lena breathed. You didn't panic, Bree said. You used your mind. You stayed still. You trusted. Lena blinked. I did. And just like that, she began to believe it. That setbacks didn't mean failure. That storms didn't mean stop. That fog didn't mean forget. That each step forward, even tiny ones, meant she was still growing. Still becoming. Still brave. Later that evening, Professor Hootley visited with snowflake diagrams and a scarf full of tea leaves. I say, he declared, I once got trapped in fog so thick I ended up living with a family of goats for a week. Goats? Josh gasped. They were excellent dancers, he said seriously. They all burst out laughing. And the nest, somehow felt stronger than ever. Not because of the twigs, but because of what held it all together. Love, laughter, and little lessons learned in the storm. That night, as Bree tucked Josh under a soft mossy blanket, Lena sat at the edge of the nest and looked up at the stars. They sparkled. Not in a loud, flashy way, but gently. Like they were whispering. You're doing it. Even on the hard days. And the wind brushed her cheek. Not like a push, but like a soft reminder. That even when things fall apart, you can begin again. The sky was still dark when Lena opened her eyes. A quiet breeze rustled through the snowy branches above their little nest. The stars had begun to fade, and the first hints of morning stretched softly across the sky. Josh was curled up beside her, and Bree sat nearby, watching the horizon. Lena smiled at them both. Then looked out toward the distance. Today felt different. Not like a normal day. Not a rebuild-the-wall day. Not a routine day. Not even a reward day. Today was something else. Lena took a deep breath. And whispered into the quiet. Today, we go find the treasure. Josh stirred, blinking sleepily. Treasure? Lena nodded gently. Yes. The place Bree and Uncle Oren told us about. The valley beyond Snow Mountain. Josh sat up straighter, her tiny wings fluffing. Is it real? Bree smiled warmly. Very real. But not easy to reach. Lena placed a gentle wing over Josh. But we're ready now. We've learned. We've grown. And we'll go together. They packed a small bundle. Just enough food and a few twigs for rest. And as the sun peeked shyly over the snowy trees, the three of them, Lena, Josh, and Bree, set out. The morning air was crisp and quiet. For a while, the path felt calm, just trees and soft snow. But soon, the forest thickened. The trail narrowed. And the first challenge appeared. A narrow icy bridge stretched across a deep ravine. The bridge creaked and shimmered. Below it, a stream rushed wildly between frozen rocks. Lena took a breath. Josh's feathers puffed in fear. I don't want to fall, Josh whispered. You won't, Bree said. Just one step at a time. We're here. One by one, they crossed. Carefully. Slowly. At one point, a gust of wind made Josh wobble. Lena reached out her wing. I've got you. They made it across. Shaky, but safe. Next came the misty cliffs. The trail twisted through fog so thick the trees looked like sleepy giants. Are we going the right way? Josh asked. We are, Bree said. I've been here before. Just keep close. Then suddenly, a voice. Well, travelers. A raccoon wearing a tiny bow tie peeked out from a hollow log. Looking for the treasure, I presume, he grinned. Lena blinked. Yes, have you seen it? Oh certainly, he said, twirling dramatically. But first, you must answer a riddle. Josh gasped. The raccoon cleared his throat. What can grow but never be seen, be given but never taken, and changes the world with the smallest start? Lena thought hard. Then smiled. Courage. The raccoon blinked. Well played, he grinned. You may pass. He gave them a tiny golden leaf and pointed to a path that led upward. Lena held the leaf tight. Thank you. Safe travels, the raccoon said, vanishing into the mist with a puff of confetti. After the cliffs came the coldest wind they had ever felt. It howled. It pushed. It made their wings ache. They found shelter inside a hollow log with frost-covered walls. Bree huddled beside them. We'll rest here until the wind settles. Lena held Josh close and whispered. We've come too far to stop now. When the wind calmed and the fog thinned, they continued. And then, the trees began to change. The snow softened. The cold faded. The path widened. And ahead, a soft glow shimmered in the distance. Lena's heart beat faster. They climbed the last hill, quietly. Each step felt like a dream. And at the top, they saw it. The valley. Golden. Wide. Endless. Trees full of glowing fruits, seeds, nuts, and blossoms that sparkled in the light. Warm grass stretched below. Birdsong filled the air. A stream danced nearby, glimmering like crystal ribbons. Josh gasped. It's real. Lena blinked, her eyes filled with tears. We found it. Bree smiled softly. Welcome. They stepped into the grass. It was soft. Warm. Kind. A hedgehog played a flute made from a dandelion stem. A butterfly waved hello with sparkly wings. The air smelled of honey and fresh hope. Lena turned in a slow circle. Everywhere she looked, something beautiful shimmered. But inside, she felt something even brighter. It wasn't just the trees or the berries or the sunshine. It was the quiet joy in her chest. The strength in her wings. The steady courage in her heart. The smile on Josh's face. The quiet pride in Bree's eyes. And Lena whispered. The treasure, it's not just this place. Bree nodded gently. It's who you became to reach it. Lena sat beneath a glowing tree. She looked at her wings. She thought of the storms. The twigs. The laughter. The tiny first steps. And she smiled. Because the real treasure was not something they found. It was something they built, together. A nest of courage. A flight of love. A heart full of try-agains. They spent the day gathering food, laughing with a family of frogs who thought lily pads were tambourines, and building the softest nest beneath a blossom that hummed when the wind blew. That night, they watched the stars. And Lena made a promise. Tomorrow she would rest. But soon, she would fly back across the mountain. Not to look for treasure, but to help others find it too. Because now, she knew the way. The sky was soft and sleepy when Lena woke that morning. Golden light stretched over the valley, touching the trees with its gentle fingers. The breeze carried the scent of sweet fruit and blooming flowers. Birdsong danced between the branches, and nearby, Josh was painting tiny rocks with berry juice while Bree napped in a hammock made of vines. Everything was warm. Everything was peaceful. But in Lena's heart, there was a quiet ache. Today wasn't a day for resting. Today was a day for remembering. She stood at the edge of their leafy nest, her wings brushing the air. I think it's time, she whispered. Bree opened one eye. Time. Lena nodded slowly. To go back. Josh looked up, confused. Back where? To my old home, Lena said softly. I want to see it. I need to. Neither Bree nor Josh asked questions. They just packed her a bundle of seeds and wrapped her in hugs. Then Lena spread her wings, and flew. Back over the trees. Back over the hills. Back over the cliffs where the raccoon had told riddles. Back through places that had once felt enormous, and now felt like memories. She flew until the snow began to return. Until the air grew colder again. Until the land looked just like it had, when her journey first began. And then, she saw it. Her old tree. Still tall. Still quiet. But the nest was empty. Broken twigs clung to the edges like forgotten dreams. The food pile, long gone. No warmth. No laughter. Just wind. Lena landed softly. The branch creaked under her feet. She looked around, her chest tightening. And then her eyes landed on a small stone near the trunk. A smooth, round stone, shaped like a teardrop. Beside it, a feather. Dark brown. Soft. Kai's. Lena's breath caught in her throat. Her wings folded tightly to her sides. And tears filled her eyes. She didn't need anyone to explain. He had never tried again. Never taken the first step. His laziness had become his cage. And now, he was gone. Lena knelt beside the stone and laid her wing gently over it. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I wish you tried. I wish I could have helped." She thought of his laughter on the snowy hills. His silly snow crowns. His promise to work tomorrow. She closed her eyes and let the tears fall. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. Just soft. Quiet. Like the goodbye that was never said. Then came the sound of feathers brushing air. Lena turned. And saw a shape gliding down from the sky. Wise eyes. Soft feathers. And a voice as calm as winter wind. Uncle Oren. He landed beside her, saying nothing at first. Just sitting. Watching. Listening. Finally, he spoke. "You came back." Lena nodded. "I had to." Uncle Oren looked at the stone. "I know. I'm sorry." Lena whispered, "Why didn't he try?" Oren sighed. "Some never do. Fear can be louder than wisdom. Laziness, stronger than longing. If no one pushes through, they stay still." Lena stared at the ground. "I could have pushed harder." "No," Oren said gently. "You were still learning. And we cannot walk paths for others, little one. We can only show them where the path begins." They sat in silence for a long time. Birds chirped far away. Leaves rustled. The snow fell softly like feathers. Then Oren said, "But others are still waiting." Lena looked up. Others like Kai, stuck. Frozen. Hoping someone will show them how. Lena felt her chest rise slowly. And fall. Then rise again. She nodded. "I want to help them," she said quietly. "The way Bree helped me. The way you tried to help us both." Oren placed a feathered wing over her shoulder. "Then start small. Just one. One little bird. One little step." Lena stood slowly. Her tears had dried, but her heart still carried them. Only now, there was something else beside the sorrow. Purpose. She took one last look at the old nest. Then gently placed a new twig on the edge. Just one. A small symbol. Of what could have been. And what still could be. Then she turned. And with a deep breath. She flew. Back toward the mountain. Toward the new chapter. Toward someone waiting in silence for a tiny spark of courage. Because now, she carried that spark. And she would share it. One bird at a time. The forest stood still, like the world itself had paused to listen. Lena sat beside a little chick under a tree wrapped in glowing moss. She had just finished telling the story of Snow Mountain, of Bree, of storms, of rewards, of 2-minute tries, of lost chances, and found strength. The chick, wide-eyed, whispered, "Will I ever be like you?" Lena smiled. "You already are. You just have to begin." The chick reached for a twig. Lena helped guide her tiny wing. And just as they tucked it into place, a soft gust of wind brushed the branches above them. Bree looked up. Josh peeked out from their newest nest. Something stirred in the sky. Wings. Feathers. A shape. A shadow approaching through the golden afternoon light. Lena stood slowly. Her heart raced. The wind whispered through the trees as the shape grew closer. Not a stranger. Not just any bird. It was a bird she had once known better than anyone. The feathers were darker now. Faded in places. But the eyes were familiar. Gentle. Heavy. But full of something she had never seen in them before. Humility. Hope. And the smallest spark of courage. Kai, Lena whispered. He landed softly, not on the tallest branch, not with a proud flap. Just gently. Quietly. Like someone who had flown a very long way. I came to see if it was still here, he said softly. The tree. The story. You. Lena blinked, barely able to speak. I thought you were gone. Kai nodded slowly. I was. I gave up. I stopped trying. I thought, maybe I didn't deserve to come back. His wings trembled. His voice cracked. But I couldn't stop thinking about you. About what you became. I watched from far away. I listened to the whispers. And today, I told myself, maybe I could try again. Lena stepped forward. There were tears in her eyes. But you never tried, she said gently. You let fear hold you in place. Kai looked down. I know. He sighed. I didn't just become weak. I became lazy. I waited and waited for the perfect moment. I kept telling myself I'd start tomorrow. But tomorrow never came. Lena listened quietly. Kai went on. I thought if I rested long enough, strength would return. But instead, the longer I waited, the heavier everything felt. The more I rested, the less I could move. His voice dropped to a whisper. Laziness became my cage. He looked up at her, eyes filled with shame. I was scared I'd always feel that way. Lena stepped closer and gently touched her wing to his. But you're here now. And you came back. That means you're not lazy anymore. Kai blinked. I'm not. She shook her head. Because laziness doesn't live in the heart of someone who takes the first step, even if it's small. Especially if it's hard. She reached down and picked up a little twig. And handed it to him. Kai took it with trembling feathers. He looked at it like it weighed the world. Just, place it, Lena said softly. That's all you have to do today. Kai slowly moved to the edge of the nest. And tucked the twig into the side. It wobbled a little. But it stayed. And that was enough. Lena's voice softened. You'll never be lazy again, Kai. He blinked. Why? Because you've learned the secret, she whispered. That it's not about doing everything. Or being perfect. It's about starting. She smiled. You found your first step. And once you know how to begin, you can always begin again. Kai looked up. And smiled back. Josh peeked out and waved. Hi. I'm Josh. Kai chuckled. Hi, Josh. Bree stepped forward, her eyes soft with joy. Welcome back, Kai. And just like that. Lena wasn't alone anymore. Not in her story. Not in her growth. And not in her journey. Because the bird she thought she had lost had found his way home. And he brought something powerful with him. Proof. Proof that even after a long time of waiting, even after giving up, even after thinking it's too late, you can always begin again. And once you do, once you take that first shaky step, once you place that first twig, you'll never be lazy again. Because you'll remember what it feels like to move. To try. To become something new. Lena turned back toward the little chick, who was still holding her twig tightly. She smiled. You see? That's what the treasure really is. Is it the nest? The chick asked. Not quite. The food? Lena shook her head. The treasure, she said softly, is the part of you that chooses to start. She looked at Kai. Then at Bree. Then back to the little one. And once you find it, you'll never lose it. That night, they all sat under the stars. Josh told a story about a mouse who rode a snowflake like a sled. Kai laughed more than he had in seasons. Bree made tea from golden moss leaves. And Lena just smiled. Because the circle had closed. And a new one was beginning. Because the once lazy chick was now a mentor. A light. A guide for all those still waiting at the edge of their story. And her message would always be the same. Start small. Start scared. Start slow. But start. Because once you do, you'll never be lazy again. And now, the story rests in the hush of wings and wind. Not an ending, but a gentle beginning. For anyone who's ever felt too small to start. Lena's journey wasn't about finding treasure. It was about trying again. Taking one step. Placing one twig. Even after falling. She learned that laziness isn't who we are. It's just where we stop for a while. And the way forward? It's simple. Start small. Create a gentle routine. Give just 2 minutes of effort. Reward yourself in small, loving ways. Just for beginning. Because every small step matters. And once you begin, you'll never be truly lazy again. So if you ever feel lost, or tired, or far from who you hope to be, remember Lena. And take one tiny step today. Softly. Steadily. With heart. And in your own time. You'll arrive. If this story brought you a sense of peace, or reminded you of something quiet and true, we invite you to gently like the video. Share it with someone who may need a moment to breathe. And subscribe. If you'd like to return to this quiet space again. Every kind word. Every share. Helps us grow this small corner of stillness. In a busy world. Thank you. For your presence. For listening deeply. For taking this walk with us. And as you step back into your world. May you carry with you. The reminder. That strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes. It simply continues. Softly. Steadily. With heart. Take good care. And keep going.